All right, let's talk about something that happens in almost every organization. We have these big, complex systems that are supposed to keep everything running smoothly, but how do they actually fail? I'll give you a hint. It's almost never the big, dramatic explosion you might be picturing. It's something a lot quieter.
So let's ask that question directly. How do these intricate systems we rely on day in and day out actually break down? The answer might not be what you think. It's rarely a single catastrophic event that you can point to on a calendar. The truth is, well, it's a lot more subtle.
You see, we have this myth in our heads, probably from movies, that failure is a big bang, a sudden collapse. But the reality, it's a slow, gradual drift, a tiny creep away from the standards we set for ourselves. And here's the most important part, the real kicker. It happens with permission.
So, let's just tear that myth of sudden failure apart, shall we? Because understanding what really happens is the first step to preventing it.
And what replaces that myth is this concept called compliance drift. It's not an event, it's a process. It's the slow, quiet failure of a system that happens because of a bunch of small and, this is the key word, permitted compromises. These aren't secrets. They are choices that people are allowed to make over and over again.
Compliance drift is the technical term, but honestly, a much better way to think about it is a death by 1,000 cuts. No single cut is fatal, right? But add them all up over time, and the system bleeds out.
So what do these little cuts look like in the real world? Well, I bet some of these are going to sound familiar. It's that one deviation that keeps happening until, it's just the way we do things now. It's closing out a corrective action plan just to meet a deadline, even if you know deep down the risk is still there. It's when we look at a known problem and say, it's manageable, and just kick the can down the road. Or a classic one, pushing quality concerns to the back burner because the schedule is just too tight. Any of that ring a bell?
And here's where it gets really dangerous. When these things happen again and again, they stop being exceptions. They become the new norm. They get woven right into the company's culture, creating a whole new, lower standard of what's considered acceptable.
This quote, man, this is powerful. Just think about what it's saying. When the regulators show up, they're not usually some crack detective team uncovering a deep, dark secret. Nope. They're just holding up a mirror to patterns of behavior that leadership already knew about but decided to live with. The shock isn't the problem itself. It's that someone from the outside finally pointed it out.
Now, if this drift happens with permission, it kind of begs the question, doesn't it? Who is giving that permission? And when you follow the chain of command, it almost always leads to one place, leadership. They are the tipping point.
It's really a fork in the road, and the direction an organization goes is a direct reflection of its leadership's attitude. When quality is treated as optional, something you try to do when you have time, the system is always going to drift. But when leadership truly owns quality, when it's a core value, that's when the system gets stable. That's when it becomes resilient.
So to get on that stable path, we have to start thinking about quality a little differently. It's not just a department that checks boxes. It's an essential control for the entire business. You can't just write a bunch of great procedures, stick them in a binder on a shelf, and expect a strong culture to just appear. It doesn't work that way. A real culture of quality has to be actively cultivated. You have to tend to it, like a garden, every single day.
So how do you actually do that? How do you cultivate it? Well, it really boils down to 4 key leadership behaviors. First, you have to take quality signals seriously. Don't just dismiss them as noise. Second, stop playing whack-a-mole with individual problems and start looking for the trends. Third, and this is the really hard one, you have to support the right fix, even if it means slowing down production or missing a deadline. And finally, you have to say it and show it over and over. Compliance isn't a nice to have. It is non-negotiable.
So when you connect all these dots, the drift, the permissions, the culture, the conclusion is kind of inescapable.
Here's the bottom line. Being ready for an inspection, or really just having a system that works, isn't something you can just delegate to your quality assurance team and forget about. It's a management responsibility, period. The QA team can run the plays, but only management can set the culture and decide what game you're all playing.
So I'll leave you with this one question to take back with you. I want you to really think about it. Take a good, honest look at your organization. Is your system stable, held firm by a culture that refuses to compromise on quality? Or is it drifting, slowly and quietly with your permission?